Alright, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Havoc, and in today's video I'm coming at you guys with a life story actually. So someone DM'd me on Twitter a few days ago and told me that I should do a life stories kind of thing, and I thought this one would be perfect for the thing, because I've never spoken about this on my channel, I do not believe. So basically guys, as you can tell by the title, I'll be talking about the time that I broke my wrist. So this actually happened probably about 2 years ago. I was playing basketball for my school. So we were at an away game, we were playing that team, that team that you're gonna beat whenever you get there. It's that small school that never wins anything. So we went there thinking, we're gonna win and stuff like that, and we actually did end up winning, by the way. But we went there, all this stuff, and so we were just gonna have some fun. And so before the game started, I remember our coach, he said, like, if you can't keep them from getting to the basket, do not let them score. Do whatever you have to do, whether it's fouling or whatever you have to do, do not let them score. So I'm pretty sure it was about to be halftime, somewhere in there in the second quarter, and I remember specifically they had red jerseys, and number 12 was going in from the right side to go for a layup, and that kept going through my mind about how he said do not let them score. So I was going up and I was gonna block him. So whenever I jumped up, I actually did block him. I remember the ball bouncing off of the backboard, and someone told me it bounced like behind the 3-point line, somewhere like half court. Like, that's how hard I blocked him. And I remember whenever I jumped up, I remember that I jumped so high that my knee actually caught on his shoulder, and I like front flipped over his body. So it was either like my head hit the floor, and this wasn't like a wooden floor, because they were really poor school, and like it wasn't really concrete, but it was similar to concrete. I think it was concrete underneath it. But anyway, so like I didn't want my head hitting that, so I guess I tried to catch myself. So, I mean, I weigh 117 pounds now. I either weighed like a little bit more than that or a little bit less, because I did have a little bit more muscle then, because I actually did stuff with my life. But anyways, so that was all that weight going straight on my wrist forward. And so I remember one of my friends, he was on the team, and he came over there and he like jerked me up, because he didn't know like that I had just like snapped my wrist. And he jerked me off, and he's like, oh dude, bro, just walk it off. And like as soon as I stood up, like everyone, like all my friends that were like sitting on the bench and stuff, they were all like, just all the color just drained straight from my face. And I remember standing up, and then I remember like just like not being able to move my wrist at all. So I looked down and I see like my wrist, like it looked like there was a baseball in my wrist. So like I just looked at it, and I just fell right back down to the ground, and I just looked at it for a minute. And I remember my coach came over there, and he was like, are you okay? And so we went over there to the bench, so we could get everything sorted out, so I could get to the hospital and stuff. And I remember my cousin, he's on the team as well, and he came over there, he sat down beside me, and I was just sitting there as like the nurse or whoever she was. I put like the little splint on my wrist, and I remember he said, bro, does it hurt? And I looked at him straight in the eyes, and I said, no bro, it feels great, I wish I could do it again. Like, that's just the level of sarcasm I have into me. But and then I remember my one friend, he was like, dude, I know it hurts, but you looked really cool when you did that. And I'm like, thanks bro. So like, it wasn't, my body was still in shock, so I wasn't feeling a lot of pain until about 20 minutes later, I say. I mean, my parents actually weren't at this basketball game. It's the only game that they missed the entire season, and they weren't there. So my cousin's parents actually ended up driving me to the ER, and I remember about 20 minutes into the ride to the hospital, just the shrill, just the pain. I remember it all just shooting up my arm and just going throughout my body, just out of the blue. Just like, it didn't like gradually build up to, it was just out of nowhere, just like someone just like started stabbing my wrist. And I remember like I got to the hospital, and everything was good, like they did the x-rays, and they said like, it's dislocated and it's fractured and all that stuff. And they said like all the pain you're feeling is from the dislocation, because breaking a bone doesn't actually hurt because you don't have nerves in your bones. And I was like, dang, that's actually kind of something cool to know. And my cousin's dad, he was like, He was like, yeah, I remember falling out of a tree and breaking my arm. I remember like walking to my mom and saying, hey mom, I broke my arm. And like, I don't know, it was just a cool story in my life, guys. So I'm sorry if you guys kind of like cringed in this, you know, just thinking about breaking a bone. If you guys have ever broken a bone, you probably know what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about, you know, like breaking your fingers like everyone has. I'm talking about like actually like breaking your leg or your arm or your wrist or something. So if you have any cool stories like that, please let me know in like a DM on Twitter or something. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.
Moving like the speed of sound. We can't